This is episode 27, 26?
26.
26. Yeah, my file system is are messed up on my end, so it's 26.
Yeah, I kind of fucked up too. Like, I've only been going off of what do you call that?
Off of Anchor?
I've been just going off, huh?
Off of Anchor?
Yeah, I'm just going off of Anchor. That's how I see the episodes. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Because with that bonus episode, kind of fucked up our flow, so that's why.
I mean, like, file system wise, but I mean, the flow kept going. It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. Whatever episode this is, 25, 26, or it's not 25. It has to either be 26 or 27. It's probably 26. Anyway.
Yeah, man.
Venting our weird discrepancies there. So, everybody's at home for the most part, kind of.
This is
Not me.
is this the bottle episode of the Difficult to Please episode podcast?
What do you mean the bottle?
You know how like in television series they'll have like one episode they'll do like everybody's in like one room and they'll kind of like work through their bullshit once they eat throughout that entire episode. Like Community has like a famous one where they just like, oh, is this a bottle episode?
Oh shit! I didn't even know that was called like a bottle. I didn't know that was like a real
It's all
term.
good. Anyways, everybody's inside. Go on.
Everybody's inside, other than me. I'm still going to work. I'm fucking overworked. I'm tired. And this quarantine shit hasn't been helping. Actually, it doesn't really matter, to be honest.
Why do you say that?
Because my life hasn't virtually changed that much. I'm still doing stuff. Like, not gonna lie, Animal Crossing has been the greatest thing to like quarantine people.
Yes.
And it's like crazy seeing how much news is about it right now. Like at first I thought it was like a niche thing or like, oh yeah, people are just playing Animal Crossing. And then seeing like celebrities like talk about it and like seeing like articles being written about it. I was like, oh shit, this is like blowing the fuck up. It's like insane. And I think like one of my favorite podcasts right now, Reset by Vox or by Recode, is they did an episode on how Animal Crossing helps social distancing. I was like, oh shit, this is actually pretty cool. Like, there's been a couple that's already been married on Animal Crossing and stuff like that. It's because of the quarantine, like they couldn't have their marriage, so they went and did it on Animal Crossing instead.
That's wild, man. That's like if you go back in time, people were getting married on like
WoW or something, right?
Like Neopets.
Yeah, or Neopets. What a fucking throwback. Definitely. Yeah, no, it's like, so for me it's not new because people have gotten married on like online games and stuff like that, or they've hosted like big events on online games, but like people are making like their graduation ceremonies on Minecraft and stuff like that. So in a way, it's just bringing the creativity out of everybody, you know? And what's crazy about Animal Crossing is that it's super accessible. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? Because like it's on Switch? Is that what you?
Yeah, it's on Switch. You can download it. Like you don't actually have to go to the store to like to get games anymore. You can actually just download it from the store. So like, and it's a Nintendo game. It's meant to be like a family fun game. So it's just easy for people to like get into it. So video games have like been a big thing. Like if you are a hardcore gamer or you like to play video games, this quarantine stuff like is okay. Like you can still communicate with people. Like you're telling me that you were doing like Zoom calls and stuff like that.
Yep.
I saw Raph was doing Run It Back Again, and they're doing it like through videos.
Yep. So you say we're the OG because we've been like doing this remote thing every like 2 weeks.
Oh, man,
we're the OGs. We've been ready.
I mean, we've been ready. Like our workflow has never changed. The only difference is like, are you okay? Sick? Okay. Well,
this is like remember like it was a big deal in 2005, 2006. Was it Modest Mouse who was doing recordings like remotely? Like they would have like one studio in one part of the country, and then they would like we transfer their files to get it mastered somewhere else, and that was like
But
revolutionary.
yeah, but that's not new, right? Because like for example,
I know it's not new, but like
yeah, like when rappers, like for example, I don't know why I remember this specifically, but do you remember that one song with Eve and Gwen Stefani?
yes,
I forgot the title now. So, anyways, like I remember in an interview that Eve said that her and Gwen never recorded together. Like I guess they would just send each other the files and stuff like that.
see that's wild,
It,
man. That's like right before
that was like early
yeah,
2000s
that's
too.
like
You know what I mean?
when files were so huge. You're like, how am I supposed to get this 10 gigabyte file to
Right.
how am
So
I
it's like
supposed to
yeah,
get
that
this
was a
Blu-ray
trip back
rip
then,
to somebody else?
and it was such a trip. And like thinking about it now, it's so accessible. Like people adapted really quick to the social distancing thing. I mean, Zoom went from like nothing to something. Like Zoom used to just be an enterprise uh, application, but now it's like
It's like what
it's
Skype
hosting like
yeah,
random ass people.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's what Skype
it's
wanted
hosting
to
Skype shit
be.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much what Skype wanted to be. And like in a way, do you think Skype, or just random note, but do you think Skype is coming back too?
Uh shit, I don't know, man. It could be. I mean, I think once Skype got acquired by Microsoft, like it just kind of died. It just died quietly.
True,
Right?
true. But with Microsoft Teams, they're trying to like incorporate that. Like
I
I
mean, it
think they're
could
trying
be.
to, yeah. It's like I remember reading or listening to a podcast about since Teams is the new competitor to Slack, what Slack can't do is video conferences. So I think Teams is trying to do that, integrating Skype. I don't know. There's just like some random things I'm hearing, but like again, this wouldn't all have happened without the virus. I think the COVID, like no matter what you say about this COVID virus, it's gonna push culture and commerce a new way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, just to be
So
clear, like for our listeners out there, like this is the coronavirus COVID-19 episode. How
oh
and
yes,
how
this is our
how
COVID
it
19 episode.
how it affects culture and how we see things, video games and nerd things. Because I know we're just catching up, that it's just kind of like, oh, they're just kicking it, and like, no, this is really just talking about coronavirus.
Yeah, this is we're mainly going to talk about coronavirus, not on a business aspect, because I think you have 99 other podcasts that could talk about the business aspect of
But
it.
yeah, like markets and all that.
Oh yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Like we there's way better stuff.
Yes.
Podcast that can explain that better. But yeah, so let's talk about the social, nerdy, and like fashion aspect of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like like it's insane that now uh American companies are kind of producing face masks, but I know it's just to help healthcare workers.
Right.
But it's just funny because I sent you that article with like LA
Yes.
apparel, like sending making masks. I'm like, what the fuck? Like this is like insane, because if you go to South Korea or Japan or China, they have like designer face masks or designer surgical mask, which
Yeah.
is like insane. But do you think going forward now, the surgical mask is going to be a thing?
I think when it comes to America and the adoption of face masks, it's gonna be kind of like this cultural like moment for the people in big cities. I think right now, because from my perspective, looking around, even with the CDC saying that and recommending everybody that goes outside, who goes outside, they wear masks. So when I was going to the grocery store today and doing my jog, you can tell that like, in my neighborhood downtown, there's a little bit of people. There's a subset of folks who are like down to wear the masks, like surgical style masks and N95s, or even just bandanas and cloth. Versus there are like younger folks who are not heeding to this. So it's a matter of like a generation, I think, right now, and B, where we're at with how fucking scary it's going to be. And then I don't know. Like, I think it's going to start in big cities, the acceptability. Because I think when it comes to the culture thing, I think for Americans to buy masks, they have to like see that it benefits them versus kind of like, oh, I don't need it. Like, I'm healthy type shit, you know?
Right. Because I think this revealed that as like a society, we're all very reactionary.
Oh my
I think
God, yes.
right, because it's just kind of funny how the reason why like Asian people were wearing masks in the first place was because they didn't
SARS.
want to repeat that SARS.
SARS.
Yeah, they didn't want to repeat that because they said like Singapore, South Korea, and Japan were hit like hard by it. That's why they didn't mask, because it's just just a safety measure.
Yes.
It's a preemptive move to stop that. And like, part of me thinks I think we'll save it. We'll see it here. Now they're going to be like, oh, now we know why Asian people wear masks when they're just coughing, because it stops. It helps stop spread and stuff like that. Anyways, yeah, it'd be interesting to see if like masks become a real thing here. Because I mean, we got LA Apparel producing masks now. We got Uniqlo producing masks. Brooks Brothers producing masks. Like, it's pretty interesting. And like, I wonder if there's gonna be a point where we'll see mass design at the next like runway, at the next street, what do you call that? What's that thing called?
Like fashion show?
Not just fashion show, but like the street snaps kind of thing.
Oh, like that. Like in America? I mean,
yeah, that's like an American street snaps, and the person's like wearing a flu mask. You're like, yo, I remember that.
well, because it's like, I don't like. Yeah, the thing about masks is the fashion acceptance here, and like how this is gonna like how it would snowball to like daily life. Because I think having a mask like now, it means like, yeah, we're reactionary to this moment, but like, what about for the future? Are we gonna, is it more accepted, or once we pass this, we'll start phasing itself out and then we'll forget again?
Could be. That's also another possibility. I mean, could you remember any like big incidents where like kind of in a way our fashion kind of changed? Like, I don't even think 9/11 changed anything us culturally. I mean, in terms of like fashion or culture or something like that.
I think the biggest thing what I can remember is when the market crashed like 10 years ago, was that that was kind of like, it kind of, I don't want to say coincide, but you kind of like the all over print expensive shit started kind of like going away. So it was a matter of like, during the recession, it was just kind of like buying basics, like not too crazy. Like, it was like the resurgence of like Pendleton and all these like heritage brands that people were like buying into because of like they've been around for like 100 years. They're not like going away because of one recession, So
It's actually really funny you mentioned that, because that is how people look at careers. Like, at that point, during like now, you're not going to jump into that startup. You're not going to jump into something new. People are going to like flock to the champs. They're going to flock to the, what do you call that? To the legacy companies, which is so weird that you said that about fashion. Like, yeah, that's actually really true. Like, you fall back into your basics kind of thing. Like, you're not going to go for the extraordinary anymore. You're definitely going to go back to the cheap, the minimal viable product kind of thing. Like, oh crap, that's like insane actually that you mentioned that.
Well, because it's like right now, it's like,
because you want stability, right? Yeah, that's what you want.
and I'm
You
not
want
gonna
stability.
buy like a brand that might disappear in after this is over. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and like, you're not gonna go around looking for like crazy startup jobs at this moment. Like, you're probably gonna go for like a safe position, because right now, you're safe. Like your needs for that paycheck or your needs for whatever mandatory needs you have, like you want to fulfill that first before going for anything like crazy. So I think you're right. We're kind of in that I only need what I need mode first. Like no one's going out spending, which is actually interesting because sorry, this is like a side note, but you know how like Apple just put out their new release line?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like if that was me as a consumer, I'm like, do I really need this iPad Pro right now? This is like really random. Like it's a sick product, but I should probably stock up on food and water first before I do that. You know what I mean? Like the timing for that was
totally
just really weird. Yeah, it's super weird. Like it's not, but we need to spend in order to get the economy going again. But you can't spend without money, and
well, because it's
blah,
like,
blah, 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 blah.
I mean, David Chang has been kind of like the most vocal person on Twitter about the effect of the economy on restaurants specifically and in small businesses. It's like there's so many just regular restaurants that have been around for months, years, versus like these traditional restaurants or big chains. It's like the reason why they're going they're struggling is that like they're not going to get bailed out as much of these fucking like big ass.
They can't get bailed out. They don't have the cushion to get bailed out.
Yeah.
You know what's sad? Fucking Soda and Swine closed.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they closed. Like a lot of like their restaurants closed. And I think they're just only doing like 3 or 4 restaurants. And I'm like legit sad. Like I was like, oh, I really want meatballs right now. Then I log on the Soda and Swine website and they're like, sorry, we're closed because COVID-19. Like closed. Like they had to shut down their shops.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah. So like what neighborhoods used to be popping,
yeah.
It's like not. It's just like it's like a ghost town.
It is. It's nuts. Like, but McDonald's and Burger King and the other legacy brands and chains, they're gonna be around because they got the slack to do it.
And because like there's so many, right? There's so many locations.
Yeah, they can shut down restaurants or stores.
They can slim down. Like I mean, even here in Portland, I've seen different like Starbucks locations close because of like they were dependent on traffic to that area. So it's like if a certain neighborhood or part of the city's not popping anymore, like okay, we gotta close our store or cut our hours or figure it out. So Starbucks is gonna be fine, but I don't know about these other like small business, small run
like
coffee shops,
third wave coffee shops and stuff like that, right? Yeah, that's gonna be insane. Like that's why I've been trying to make it a point when I do get coffee, I'll go there.
Oh yeah. Like anything like besides fast food, I think. Well, because like I'm not one to talk because I got McDonald's today for lunch. Hell
yeah! I was about to say I've been getting McDonald's at least 3 times the past 2 weeks.
You gonna get for free or no?
No, I don't take advantage of that because I'm not a frontline worker.
But you're healthcare, so they're not gonna be like, oh hey.
True, but then I would feel bad. Like for example, I could have got a free pair of Allbirds.
But you fucking hate Allbirds.
Yeah, but I could have got a free pair of the most comfortable shoes in the world. You know what I mean?
We're not trying to get sponsored by Allbirds. I don't think we have enough listeners to get a sponsorship by Allbirds.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
I'll talk shit about Allbirds still.
I could have tried to get Allbirds. I mean, right now they're doing like a buy one get one kind of thing, like Tom's. But like, you know what I mean? Like that's crazy. Like all these. It's just funny
to tell Hassan Minaj and they're like, yo, my man's wearing Allbirds, can you talk him down?
Like he's gonna show me like pictures of Paul Ryan. I'm like, no, that's not me. He's out of the house now. No, but you know what I'm saying? Like I could have got Allbirds. I could have got it for free, but I chose not to. Kind of like
but
I'm
that's
one
different.
of those. Like,
that's like not food.
Yeah, but
like,
it's
you
like
can get
helping
like
our
K sandwiches or something.
True. Or I could have got free Krispy Kreme donuts every Monday.
You're ridiculous, man. Take advantage of it. Like, wait,
Why?
it's
Okay,
food
maybe-
versus like material goods. Like, this is going to be consumed no matter what.
True. I don't know. Like, maybe because I feel like I'm not a frontline worker, I don't deserve it. Because like the nurses and the respiratory techs and the doctors, they all deserve it. Like, it's just like me, who's like kind of like in a back room kind of thing. I'm just like, we'll help you get it. We'll help you do your job, but that's about it. Like,
Yeah, but
like-
still, it's like your workplace is still crazy just because like your department is like not as like stressed. And even you said it, man. You said you're working more. So like,
but it's because someone's injured at work, so I'm taking their
just kidding.
shifts. That's it. So like, I legitimately don't have a good excuse. Like,
well,
I
that's
work in
like it's like
baby
when
hospital too. So, I mean, the moms could have COVID. That's about it.
I'm just saying, man. If it's free and they're offering it, no strings attached. Why not? That's all I'm saying, because they're not like like for like Veterans Day shit, right? Like when I was a dependent under my dad, I still took advantage of it because like my dad was a veteran. I'm not, so.
But at least you're not one of those people who fake they were a veteran to get free stuff. Like that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, but that's
Maybe
different.
that's like my moral compass is like I feel like I'm not a big contributor to the thing. Like I know I am. I'm part of the system, but I'm not the frontline person because like those nurses and doctors, they're really risking it. And like if they get sick, then me, I'm still safe. Unless like they come to my place, you'd be like, I'm gonna cough on everybody. But yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, man,
Maybe,
I'm just saying.
maybe I'll get a box of
Just
Krispy Kreme donuts
think
tomorrow.
about it. Just think about it, because I'm like, yo, like they're offering it free of charge. Why not? It's going to be consumed. Why not?
Yeah, and it's like I guess it's coming from like big companies that could afford it. So sure, maybe I'll do that.
Or get like
All
K
right,
sandwiches.
I'll make it to point. Tomorrow, Monday, April 6th, I'm going to Krispy Kreme Donuts to get a dozen donuts. I'm going
And
to
then-
eat 6 of them and bring 6 more at work.
And they're like, oh, all right.
They're like, what happened to the other 6? I fucking ate them in my car. They were free. What the fuck do you want me to do? In fact, I got free Krispy Kreme donuts and I went to my third wave coffee shop. Booyah, that's what's up.
That's what's up. Oh my god.
Have you?
Oh my god.
I've been trying my best to like support local businesses though. Like, I went to King's jean shops and I bought a pair of jeans.
Like $300 jeans?
160 full. Get it right. My fashion game will not go down because of this. I just shopped at Uniqlo and Everlane today. Those are 2 big companies. Fuck. But I don't know any small companies that do like regular ass t-shirts.
See, that's
Anyways.
the thing. It's like, because Everlane and Uniqlo, they do really good basics. So it's like I don't think there's anything wrong in clothes and shit. I think clothes in sourcing that is like, it can be, you can like look harder for small businesses that do that type of shit, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to take advantage of the sales. Sorry. People are trying to sell. So I'll take advantage.
Just
of it.
like part of like on the small business tip about like COVID and this like the future in the coming months or whatever. It's like I think retail, man. I think retail is like either gonna be on its last breath and like malls are gonna die, man. Like there's how do you see like malls coming back from this? Like
Sure.
everything
So-
shuts down, right?
So for one thing, what's going to happen from here on out is that the small businesses crash, and this is like the prime time for Amazon, Google, Facebook, and the big 4 tech companies. Why? Is because they can eat these small startups up now. Like they can eat them, acquire their what's that word? What's the IP? Right? That's the word, IP. Intellectual property.
yeah.
Yeah. So they can eat up their IP and like go expand their business. So what this means for like smaller companies too is that yeah, the smaller companies are gonna have trouble, and yeah, they will close down. So business will go back to the big ones again. Definitely. I agree. I think Everlane's having trouble too because I don't know. I would still consider them a small business because they're not huge yet. But someone like Uniqlo, I think they're fine. They're gonna be
Yeah,
great. Like,
I think like department stores, might be it for them. Like I think
but
this. What do you?
so malls. Okay, malls are interesting because malls have always been on their last leg kind of thing for the last like 10 years
Hmm.
since Amazon like fucked them over completely, which
Hmm.
is cool. I'm happy for that. But have you been to La Jolla Mall, the UTC La Jolla?
Yes, I have.
So what malls are trying to do is like they're trying to incorporate the restaurants and stuff like that and like provide more events and movie watching to give people like the reason why we should go out again is like to interact, to eat, to gather. Cause like why do we go to restaurants nowadays is to interact with others, right?
What I don't know what going to a restaurant feels like, JV.
You don't? Really?
No, I'm joking, dude. Like, come on,
Oh,
man. I'm
but
just saying, like, it's feels so long that we sat down inside and ate a meal.
oh, I guess with this whole COVID-19 thing going on, yeah, I guess that's true. But I mean, that's like the intention. That's like the direction malls are trying to go. But yeah, you're right. With the COVID-19, like that completely fucks over malls because we can't gather. One, we can't gather in like areas of more than 10 people. So yeah, I could see that for sure. I think they take a hit for now, but after this is all over, I think they could definitely rebuild.
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean, yeah, there's gonna be like this reforming, rebuilding. I think there's just gonna be this weird transition period once everything's clear. I think
mhm.
that the smaller stores that needed that like weekend bump of like people walking around after they had lunch or coffee or whatever, watched a movie, then it's like, oh yeah, let's drop into this store. But like, since they don't have that, like, what's that going to look like for those other stores? What's that going to look for the future of retail? And I mean, it's going to be a really weird and interesting time after this.
After this, correct, yeah. One thing I think for sure. Well, okay, not for sure. Sorry. I think our mind shift is going to change, at least for the regular consumer. I think people are going to be a lot more okay with remote stuff. Like, for example, my doctor said, "Hey, we're not going to meet, so I'm just going to call you, okay?" I'm like, oh, "Yeah, that works. I don't have to I don't have to drive to Eastlake now." So,
Hmm.
like, for me, that's okay. People are now remote working from home. Some people have been doing it forever. Some people are
Hmm.
saying, like, the need, like, yeah, I don't have to be in a fucking office, like, all day. But obviously, sometimes being in an office is better because you can communicate and see what's going on, like, real time.
Oh
But still,
yeah.
like, I definitely think there will be some jobs that will be completely shifted remote. Like, they will be like, no, I like this. Let me just work from remote. And then obviously some jobs you need to be there in person. It's better to collaborate in like real time. But so yeah, I wonder like will it be to the point where like let's say your job for example, Erwin,
Hmm.
they'll have you graphic design mainly for remote. Like it would be like an 80-20 remote in office. Like do you think some companies could go that route
Yeah.
or yeah, cuz
I
like
think,
sometimes
yeah.
go
I
ahead.
think more for like, I think as an industry, um, because a lot of the industry right now for creative arts, for graphics, illustrations, for filmmaking, I think because of all that already, the infrastructure for freelancers um, it was easier when it was remote. I think when it's for like the in-house folks like me, uh, where yeah, I might not need to be in the office. We'll see how this, in my position in other big companies like, let's say Google or Facebook, like what's stopping them now? It's like, oh, like you guys don't even have to come in that often. Just
Mhm.
this was working during the crisis, so we'll see,
Right.
right?
Like we're still generating during a crisis. Like what's stopping us now? Yeah, I think it's really interesting. Like what we could do after this. And someone actually pointed this out. So those big four tech companies all expanded during the Great Recession. So
Mhm.
I'm just so curious what becomes the next big thing going forward after this all dies down.
I mean, like, what do you mean best big thing? Like innovation? Like what?
Yeah, anything. Like what could be so cultural changing that will emerge after this recession? Because Facebook, Google, Amazon, they all emerged during the recession. You know what I mean? Like they all
Mhm.
had their roots during the recession. So I wonder what comes next, man.
I
Like
mean,
what big
I
things happen.
I know that we talked about this previously, but I think the appetite for like driverless cars and smart cars, like I think that's like right there because like for example, right? Like if you want to take a taxi, you don't know, or an Uber or Lyft, you're like it's harder now to be like, oh shit, dude, somebody was just in here, like the germs and all that, like all that stuff is seeping into like our collective psyche. Like, why the fuck do I want to be in a car? That's has like 100 people have been here the whole day.
True, yeah. So that's actually a really good point. Like we don't know because there's no safety around it unless like the machine lets out some fucking like disinfected in the car. Like
Yeah,
let it sit for
which makes
10
sense,
minutes and be
right?
like, all right, next customer.
Well, and then I think we talked about this earlier too. Fucking, it's losing me. 5G. I think the need for 5G would be more now, right? Like, there's
Yeah, we need it
the
now.
the technology to remote operate, to remote triage, so that you're not in just one hospital. You're in the region's hospitals. You're like, you know, do doctors go freelance? And they just work
I
for
mean,
all the
doctors
hospitals?
already do a lot of freelancing, but yeah, that's true. No, but most importantly, I need to watch fucking Tiger King at 720p at minimum, not at 360 standard definition where I watched it the last 3 hours. I need to watch that shit HD all the time. That's why we need fucking 5G now during this crisis because everybody's on fucking Netflix, everybody's streaming, everybody's throttling the whole fucking internet ISPs right now, man. And yeah, sorry. I watched all of Tiger King right
At
before
work?
this. No, I'm
Oh
at
no, like
home.
right
I was
home.
yeah, no, I'm trying to watch Tiger King at home in more in HD. And I had to watch it only in standard definition because all the internet companies are like, all right, we can't do this at 4K anymore. We have to do this at standard definition, which is a trip, right? Like, I think that's a trip.
I was there's this interesting piece that I'll link in the show notes. And I sent it to you about how like there's this blog about how basically talking about how we're talking about like culture and society, but like there's this like more societal kind of like larger view of things about how everything's gonna be affected. And I think one piece I was thinking about specifically is like when it relates to us is how they kind of see how the urban core of the city like it's been so popping for like the last decade, right? So people are like, for example, like want to move more to like North Park and more like closer to like cool neighborhoods and shit like that. Whereas like in during this time, it's like you don't like why the fuck would you want to be around so many people in this condensed area, and why should we be concerned about like like the germs and like the potential threats of like a virus happening again in such a small area? So they're kind of saying, the author was saying how maybe at the end of this we're going to see revitalization of the suburbs, like suburbs 2.0. Like, oh
Or
shit,
even rural areas.
yeah. And it's kind
Because
of like,
why do we all
why?
have to go to New York City, LA, San Francisco? Like, if we can still do the software engineering job from home or from somewhere else, what makes it what makes like a little city out in Oklahoma, like why can't they do it too, or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a trip because there's a company I follow, Postlights. They're a
Okay.
software engineer company, and they say, yeah, we're kind of used to this remote stuff already because like a lot of our employees are actually overseas or at different coasts. We're based in New York, but we all have to set up like a certain meeting time to get like the people from England, the people from the West Coast, all in the same like meeting kind of thing. So yeah, like maybe we will see a reason why people move back to their hometowns, or maybe see a reason why they move back to rural or suburb areas, because it's like, fuck, I don't have to be in downtown like 24/7. Maybe if
Yeah.
you're a journalist, that's a different issue.
Mm-hmm.
But like a lot of like office jobs, yeah, you probably could do that from home.
Yeah, I think I want to say that the happenings in the Bay Area with Silicon Valley and having the kind of income inequalities there where people aren't getting by with 6-figure incomes,
Mhm.
and like pushing other people to work in different parts of the country and other companies opening offices in other parts of the country, like Austin's now like a really big place to kind of like expand or have like a Google expansion or like a fucking Facebook expansion, right? So it's like what's happening now is like, okay, it's with COVID-19 is like, I think we're gonna still see this acceleration of like people don't have to be in the Bay Area. People don't have
Right.
to live in New York. They can be where they are now and still do the thing they set out to do.
Right. And like I think what sucks about Austin is that they're kind of like still emerging as becoming the new hub.
Hmm.
But with this virus, maybe people are going to change that.
Yeah, who knows?
Exactly. Who knows?
I think I would say this about like for the 20 somethings. Like, remember when we were 20 something and the recession hit? We're like, fuck, man, we're fucked out of jobs. No, it's like that same thing for like people who are just getting out of college or gonna graduate soon. They're like, I'm gonna graduate into like the worst economy in like 100 years. Like, the fuck?
It's so funny, like not to pick on my nephew or anything, but he posted on like Instagram. He's like, "This is the year I was supposed to get my shit together," and
That's
I was like, "You're 19. You haven't even started shit yet. What do you mean get your shit together?" But then I wonder now, how is he going to look at it? Because is he going to feel like he needs school? Because that was a broken promise in our generation, was that you go to school, you get a college degree, and then you get a job. That was like our promise that was never given to us. Now, what's the future of education going to be? Is it going to like they need to work. So our vocational school is going to be a big thing now. Like our specialized program is going to be a thing now. Is like the 8-week boot camp coding classes is going to be like the new thing. Like what's it going to be? Like how do we define jobs going forward now? Because they're just building on what we were promised. Like, you know what I mean? Like
I get
college
what you mean.
education never education wasn't the end all means for us. It was empty. It was broken. Now, like with upcoming future generations, now it's like, okay, what's going to be their thing now? Is it going to be? I think it's going to be more work experience. It's going to be about getting more into the field and learning on the job and volunteering. Like for me, if I was like talking to my nephew, I'm like, that's going to be your best source of education, man. Just work for whatever company or whatever thing you're trying to do, and just work at that, because that's going to be your best education going forward.
I think right now, when it comes, I think people are gonna have like the 20 somethings now. It's part working and trying to find that like that industry you want to get into, but at the same time, it's like I know you don't want to Gary Vee it all the time. I'm like, yo, like you gotta find a way to like make money. Like you're not gonna, it sucks to see that like the economy was like peaking right before these some of these kids were gonna graduate, and then like, okay, sorry, yo, like we're gonna go into a recession real quick.
Sorry, you just graduated. Unless you're in the medical field, you're an essential worker. We kind of don't need you right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you're gonna have to find a way to hustle because and I know it's weird for me to like reflect upon that because I know like I was hustling, 10 years ago too, working minimum wage, but I'm like,
That's
fuck,
what you had
man.
to do.
Yeah, it took me like almost a decade to get to where I am. So it's like
Yeah,
these
and
kids
just
are
a
gonna
reminder.
get that same kind of like hard luck. I mean, not hard luck, but like hard work.
Yeah, and remember, you graduated in film.
Yeah, and I'm like not film.
Yeah, and you're in graphic design. So
Yeah.
that's a trip. Yeah, you've
So
you've
it's
had
just
your
like
story coming up.
yeah, it's just about being adaptable because I know it's gonna be for these kids. It's be like, yo, education might not do it. You don't want to take more debt if you don't know how to pay for it, especially now.
Yeah.
Like, right, you can't chip at it. If you can chip at it during school and take as less money as you can, then yeah, go for it. I think it's just so hard to think about education, right? Because every college is now switching to online, so it's like why. Look, that was kind of like the point of going to college, right? To make connections, to actually feel like you went to school, like physically going.
Build clout. Yeah, all that.
But what's
Exactly.
the difference now? Like you're on a Zoom call, doing a lecture versus you doing an 8-week boot camp remote. Who knows, man?
Right. Yeah, I think going forward, I think you just have to throw yourself in there, man. I think you really have to work at night, study by day, or intern by day, work at night kind of thing.
Is that what you told your nephew, or you want to tell your nephew?
That's what I kind of want to tell my nephew too, man. I was like, yo, you better just start working, really, because no one's gonna like thinking from a business standpoint. You don't want to hire new grads right now. You want to hire people who can like pick up the slack right away and just start making money. You know what I mean? Because if you like have to like take your time, train, and that person's not bringing in like good revenue, like why would you waste time on them? You want the legacy person. Like right now, we're at the stage where we need comfort and certainty. You know what I mean? As a business person and as a person trying to find like work, you want certainty. That's your number one thing right now. Like you can take gambles later, but right now you need certainty. And for him, like I really would tell like, oh, like even anyone younger right now, like, yo, just work at Starbucks by day or at night and volunteer. Like kind of in a way Gary Vee it, like volunteer. Get some experience in, man. Because I feel like you could do volunteer work for someone, you're helping them save money. So obviously they would definitely pick you up kind of thing. They would take free labor. I don't know. Maybe that's how I see things right now.
That's how you see things. Okay.
Yeah, like right, like if I like want to do an intern, like hell yeah, I would do an intern right now. This is probably the best time to do an intern, right? Because they're not paying you. You're gaining experience for them, and if you do a good job with that as an intern, like that could be a good thing in the future. So yeah, that's what I say. Learn how to eat shit. I guess. Oh, I guess that is my Gary Vee moment. Yeah, I guess you just gotta learn how to eat shit because you gotta invest into something that might pay off in the future. Because it will get better. Things will get better. Definitely.
Oh, it'll get better. I think it's just it's gonna be
a while.
It's gonna be a while to even see what like a normal is. Because I think I'm
definitely
right. Because I think we're almost gonna be here in Oregon, almost 3 weeks into quarantine. Mm-hmm. So it's like this is starting to like normalize and have a routine of like remote work and all that. So what's that gonna mean when things start slowly opening up again? I mean, there's still going to be a lot of people unemployed by the time things get normal, right? So,
and who knows what technology will change in 10 years? Because I could tell you for sure, we're not going back to 2019 anytime soon. You know what I mean?
Like in tech wise, like what's
like, yeah, what could happen in 10 years? Like, okay, let's just give it a hypothetical. Let's say Uber and Lyft get automatic driving cars. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like they get self-driving cars. That totally kicks off the gig economy. Like that totally kicks off the people who are dependent on those jobs. So what's next for them? You know what I mean? Like Uber and Lyft will only become like really, really profitable and successful the moment they get self-driving cars. So when that happens, what's going to be the new gig economy for them?
Well,
Like,
I think we were talking about this in our AI robotics episode, but I think by 10 years, I think universal basic income is like, this is the time.
yeah, this is the time.
This
because
is like, you need the money now.
Right. Because what happens when AI starts to take over?
I think, yeah, there's an
And
accelerated
robotics,
timeline
yeah,
too,
and
right?
automations. Like if we could see it right now, like Elon Musk is already putting robotics in his automation or in his like Tesla building. Like that's all going to be automated. What happens when Ford and all those GM and all those companies start doing it too? We're
Well,
going to
even
have a
like
lot more.
working in an Amazon warehouse, right?
Yeah, that
like,
could be replaced someday by
It should
robots.
be, because right, like if you think about it now, it's like there's so many people in a warehouse. They're essential, but you're exposing each other, to the virus or the potential of the virus.
Yeah,
And that's scary shit.
yeah, and if those robots can do more than humans eventually, other than like move packages around, that's insane. That's
Yeah.
like crazy. Like what Amazon has in a warehouse right now with the robots is already crazy. So if that like gets upgraded, yeah, a lot of the workforce definitely could be displaced. Definitely, without a doubt. So it makes me wonder, like going back to our AI episode, remember when Kai Fu Lee said we're going to have probably more social workers now. We're going to have more teachers and whatnot. It's like maybe that's what it will be in the future. Maybe we'll have more medical workers. We'll have more teachers, social workers, psychologists, therapists, like all the people that you actually need humans for. That might be the big thing. Like we might see a rise in teachers. Who knows? Unless people don't have kids anymore because, too broke to afford kids.
I think, yeah, there's
Sorry, Erwin.
so much. I think there's so much going on. I think 10 years is a long time, and like I wouldn't have thought that I would hit another recession. I know recessions
Oh
happen
hell
every,
yeah!
right? They happen every every
10
almost
years.
10
10
years,
years-ish,
right? And
yeah.
I was like, oh, whatever, like,
But not this bad.
but not this
too bad recessions. Yeah, that's
'cause
insane.
it's
We
like-
had 2 bad recessions. Sorry, go ahead. Go on. I didn't
No,
mean to-
I'm saying I was just gonna expound and say, like, yeah, this recession is gonna, depending on the length and the death rate, right? We're looking at what could be a depression, right? Like something that's like backbreaking to the economy, where it's gonna be.
I'm pretty sure we
really
are
tough.
in a depression. I'm pretty sure we are.
Who knows? I think it depends. I think the timing is gonna have to depend.
You don't think we're in a depression right now?
I'm not an economist.
Oh, okay.
I think I would need more kind of indicators and like really look at like the macro part of this,
Mm-hmm.
of like, because like the stock market has already crashed. Like, what's the floor? Like, what is going to be the absolute worst moment for this economy in the next 6 months?
Right. And I think that's going to
Yeah,
be manufacturing and agriculture.
I think it's gonna be. I think it might be healthcare from my perspective. I think because you're sending a lot of people that are sick. I'm sorry. You're sending a
No,
lot
you're
of
true.
people
You're
who are
right.
sick to the ER,
Right.
and what's gonna happen with the insurance systems?
Sure. No, you actually make some good points. So the problem, like, doesn't matter what healthcare system you have, whether you have single payer or what we have. If you have too many people that need healthcare, it's going to get overloaded. Like that was what Taiwan's problem was. They're doing single payer right now, but then like people will get too comfortable going every day for no reason. You'd be like, "Oh, my head hurts. Let me go to the doctor." Like there's a way where you have to stop people from being overworked and people getting the access to get their required healthcare. So there's like we're still trying to figure that out as as a world. We're still trying to figure that out. And I think Taiwan's the closest thing to figuring it out, but they still have their problems. Anyways, yeah, that's like one thing. Let's see. What was the main thing we're talking about again? Like what's going on?
We're talking about like what industries will get hard hit. You were saying agricultural, manufacturing, also healthcare.
Definitely. Yeah, those three are like our biggest like pillars, I guess, right? Because we need we need healthcare. Like,
I mean, food and hospitality is going to be a different. I think we're going to see a loss of like 80% of restaurants. It's going to be so fucking weird.
Yeah, and you know what sucks is like they have to build up again. I mean, we'll have more restaurants in the future. That's just how it is. But yeah, definitely, it's definitely going to kill the mom and pop shops, and that's what I hate about like capitalist economies is that it doesn't give benefits to the small companies, without a doubt. And that's what's super shitty. I mean, that's why I get really mad when I see big company bailouts because they just fuck over people eventually.
Like they don't need it.
Yeah, they don't need it. They'll be successful still. But yeah, we're still going to need farmers. We're still going to need people to produce food. Still need people to produce goods, and still need people to take care of us. And I think we might need teachers in the future, man. Like, I think teachers are going to be a big thing. I think we might see a surge of teachers in the future. I said that way too many times. But no, because like if you think about it, yeah, like teachers are kind of already underpaid.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. It's like if we think about education, it's like you got to find like a way to fund them properly. Well, right. That's why I'm like I think UBI has to be a big part of like what that needs to be for people in essential jobs and people who don't make a non-living wage.
Right. Definitely, without a doubt. I bet you Andrew Yang's like laughing right now with the stimulus bill. He's like, I said that. That's my whole.
But it's like $1,200 for a one-time thing. It's like me and Rona were talking about this. I'm like, oh, okay, that's like both of our portions of rent, 1 month. Okay, thanks. Like, we might not see this check until like August. Go fuck yourself, man.
True. Very true. I think UBI will be important for the job market if it's really hard to find jobs. Definitely.
Oh yeah, if we're gonna be like the hobos in Depression era or like anything that John Steinbeck was writing, like we're gonna need like something very substantial. I don't think it might like if it's not a one-time thing. Maybe that's what I'm thinking about. Like the indicator of a depression. It's like if the government can't bail us, like if this bailout does not work in the next 6 months, then yeah, obviously I think that doesn't do anything. Like if the unemployment rate keeps going up, fuck, dude, we're just fucked.
Yeah, we need to find a way for people to spend money, man. That's what gets our economy going. Wrap it up.
Well, I'm healthy. You're healthy.
Yeah, thank God. We're both healthy. Rona's healthy, right?
Rona is healthy. Baby is healthy.
That's good. Yeah. So I say play Animal Crossing, man. Play video games, play Animal Crossing. Keep your sanity.
Keep in touch with people.
Do your weird-ass Zoom calls.
Do Zoom calls.
Go on Discord.
Do podcasts. Don't touch people.
Hell yeah. Don't touch people. Get your free Krispy Kreme donuts. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm going to get Krispy Kreme donuts tomorrow.
Do you get free scrubs too? Are you going to find new scrubs?
No, my work supplies scrubs.
Oh, that's right.
We need special scrubs. Yeah, we need special scrubs.
Yeah.
So Yeah, so I could go in booty shorts tomorrow and get scrubbed, so I'm good.
All right, so this is a very serious episode. I don't know if we'll go back to the lighthearted stuff soon.
I mean, this is like half, right? It's. I'm here talking about Krispy Kreme donuts and Animal Crossing and watching fucking animes all day. That's like my day. I wake up, I do 1 hour of mobile gaming, 1 hour of Animal Crossing, and then I eat, and then I either go to work or I play video games, and then I come home.
Oh shit!
I play it. What?
Yeah. No, go on.
And then I eat again, and then I play a mobile game again, and then I either play Animal Crossing or play another video game until I fall asleep or watch anime. That's my day. My life hasn't really changed. The only difference is I have more hours for gaming or watching Tiger King.
Yeah, so basically, you are already doing self-isolation.
Hell yeah.
I would say this.
Unless I have to go out.
In reference to something I said earlier about like what culture is going to become after this, and they mentioned something about like people streaming more and torrenting and like pirating. I'm like, yeah, I've been doing a lot more torrents lately, and I downloaded Parasite and I watched it, and Parasite was pretty good. It's funny.
Let's say Parasite for another episode.
I mean, you got to tie Parasite to something else. I think we're past peak on that, but here we are.
Yeah, we could talk about post-capitalism in another episode.
Yeah, whatever.
Or like later stage capitalism, I mean. For sure. All right, man. This is episode 26 of Difficult to Please.
Subscribe. Please review us. Share with your friends.
Share with your friends in your social distancing thing. And the next Zoom chat you're in, just insert our link to your to our podcast into that chat. You'd be like, you should probably listen to this. And they're like, what the fuck is this? You're like, I don't know. Here's a link. Share it. Listen to it. We can all listen to it together and like badmouth everyone who's on this podcast. Just kidding. We hope you all stay safe though.
Peace.
Peace.